The Craftsman Truck Series race has officially concluded from Nashville Subaru Speedway, and we see some pretty exciting racing, a solid finish, and Carson Hocevar picking up his second career Truck Series victory. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching the Truck Series race from Nashville Subaru Speedway, the Rackley Roofing 200. We got quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So, before the green flag drop in tonight's race, Tony Breininger and Dean Thompson would have to start at the rear for adjustments. So at the start of the race, Nick Sanchez lead the field from the inside and Bailey Curry on the outside, and Nick Sanchez was able to clear for the lead. The first caution race to come out lap number 5 for Hailie Deegan, who got loose basically on the apron, just got loose and ended up sadly wrecking herself and collected loss down, and Jack Wood had nowhere to go. Just another mistake by Hailie Deegan. I was kind of defending her a couple weeks ago. Can't defend her on this one. I do feel a little bad for Loss Allen, though Loss Allen should have no room to talk and comment about things. But I don't blame Loss for being frustrated. But unfortunately, she caused another wreck. You cannot make mistakes like that on the racetrack on lap 5. Just lost to go in the corner, which a lot of drivers have mistakes there. So then on the restart, I believe you had Nick Sanchez leading the field from the inside with Roger Kroof on the outside, and Nick Sanchez was able to clear for the lead. But then on the restart, Loss Allen, who had damage, basically crashed hard on the outside wall with a flat tire and would bring the caution out. Unfortunately, would end his day, just had a flat tire. So then on the restart, Nick Sanchez lead the field from the inside and Roger Kroof on the outside. And Roger Kroof was able to hold on for a second, got the lead for Nick Sanchez, but then eventually Nick Sanchez was able to pass Roger Kroof back. Then we saw a really great battle for the lead between Nick Sanchez and Roger Kroof, and eventually Roger actually got to the race lead. Unfortunately, though, he lost the lead to Nick Sanchez, and in Zane Smith, he got up to the lead. But what ended up happening was Roger Kroof had no fuel pressure in the truck, taking him out of contention. That's such a shame for Roger Kroof. He had a truck that easily could have won this race. He's been really fast recently. Can't seem to catch a break. Took him out of contention to win the race. But at this point, Zane Smith had the race lead, and he would come off the corner and win stage 1. All the lap cars were coming down pit road. After that was Zane Smith losing a ton of positions on pit road, and Corey Heim basically winning the race off pit road. So then on the restart, Corey Heim lead the field from the inside with Nick Sanchez on the outside, and Bailey Curry gave a really strong push and gave Corey Heim the race lead. And then we saw Bailey Curry and Corey Heim battle really hard for the race lead. Bailey getting lead for a lap, and then eventually Corey Heim, he got the lead back and was able to pull away. Meanwhile, Ty Majeski was soloing in 20th position on the racetrack, but he basically used the access road down the backstretch and would basically come down pit road, and fortunately would end his chances at competing at the time. It looked like it was going to be an easy stage win for Corey Heim, but with 6 laps to go, we saw Stuart Friesen spin for 17th position, just lost it going into turn number 4, and brought the caution out. Then we saw a little bit of strategy where Matt DiBenedetto would stay out from 8th position while the rest leaders would come down pit road. Basically, unfortunate communication issues. And then on the restart, Matt DiBenedetto lead the field from the inside with Corey Heim on the outside, and Corey Heim got a really strong restart and was able to clear for the lead. Matt DiBenedetto hanging on to 2nd position. He was doing a really good job defending for those few laps, but he would get a lucky break with 3 laps to go in stage 2. We saw Daniel Dye get loose going up at turn number 1, just spun out on his own, and unfortunate clip lane race, and then Brett Holmes had nowhere to go and ran into Lane Riggs, bringing the caution out. Because of that, the stage would end under caution with Corey Heim winning stage number 2. A big benefactor of Matt DiBenedetto as well, because basically he ended up finishing 3rd, picking up a ton of stage wins. But then Matt DiBenedetto, Grant Enfinger would come down pit road, and also I believe Dean Thompson came down pit road, and a couple other guys came down pit road as well. So then on the restart, you had Corey Heim lead the field from the inside with Carson Hocevar on the outside, and Corey Heim got a really strong restart and was able to clear for the race lead. But then we see some trouble strike with 46 laps to go in this race when Dean Thompson was racing Christian Eckes going to turn number 3 and would lose it and spin in the outside wall hard, backed it in the outside wall really hard. And Christian Eckes, I think, got a little bit of damage, but luckily didn't get too much, but the caution would come out. So all leaders would stay out during the time. Grant Enfinger, Christian Eckes, Stuart Friesen came in, but all leaders would stay out. So then on the restart, Corey Heim lead the field from the inside with Carson Hocevar on the outside, and Zane Smith gave a really big shot to Carson Hocevar and was able to clear for the race lead and started taking off. Then it basically became a cat and mouse game with about 30 laps to go, because at this point, Zane Smith, he got around Corey Heim. It took him a little bit of time to start catching Carson, but his truck was the best on the long run and was running Carson Hocevar down, and was about under a second with about 10 laps to go. But it would not matter, because with 11 laps to go, the final caution of the day would come out for Stuart Friesen, who spun from 12th position off of turn 4, had nowhere to go. Grant Enfinger got clipped in that, and Christian Eckes got some damage as well, bringing out the final caution of this race. Then we see the final caution pit stops where Carson Hocevar, Zane Smith, Corey Heim all stayed out. Also, some other guys stayed out as well. But basically, the rest leaders basically came down pit road. Bailey Curry, Matt Benedetto, Grant Enfinger all came down pit road. So then on the restart with 3 laps to go, Carson Hocevar lead on the inside with Zane Smith on the outside, and Carson Hocevar got a really, really strong run and was able to clear for the lead. Zane Smith would do his best to try to catch up. Nick Sanchez and Bailey Curry were trying to run down the leaders, but they would not have enough time. Zane Smith tried to close near the end, was about a tenth or 2 tenths back, but it would not be enough, and coming off the final corner, Carson Hocevar holds up a hard-charging Zane Smith, pick up his second career NASCAR Truck Series victory and his second win of the 2023 season. A well-deserved win for Carson Hocevar. A great night for the 42 team. Had one of the strongest trucks in this race. Probably not the strongest truck, but he got a really good restart about 50 laps to go. He might have led the most laps in this race. I'm not entirely sure. But I've been saying this about Carson Hocevar. I feel like that he's been improving as a driver in the Truck Series on a week-by-week basis and had a very, very good truck, and he's been having those Xfinity Series starts. He's been impressive in those starts, but his racecraft has been improving. I was very critical of Carson Hocevar in 2022 and the beginning of 2023, but I feel like he's been maturing as a driver, and he's been getting better as a driver, and that's why there's a lot of conversation about his future past this year. I'm so stoked for him. I think he's going to win a few more races this year of how fast he's been. It seems like he may be one of the championship favorites for trucks currently at the moment. So, nonetheless, I'm so stoked for him, so happy for him, and congratulations to him on picking up his second career Truck Series victory. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the race results, and after we look at the results, we'll go ahead and take a look at the race itself. So Carson Hocevar picks up the victory. Zane Smith finished second. Zane Smith had the best long run truck, in my opinion. His truck on a long run was extremely, extremely good. Unfortunately, though, near the end, didn't have enough of a long run to get to Carson Hocevar, but still a great bounce back day for Zane Smith. He was my pick coming into this weekend, so a very solid day nonetheless for Zane Smith in second. Nick Sanchez finishes third, had a very, very strong day. I think he's now in the playoffs because of a very, very good run. Was one of the strongest trucks in this race. At times kind of fell back, but a really good day nonetheless for Nick Sanchez in third place. Corey Heim finishes fourth. Very solid night for Corey Heim. Basically back after not racing at Gateway after being sick. Great day for Corey Heim in fourth position. Bailey Curry finishes fifth. This is the guy I want to talk about. He was extremely impressive tonight. Ran top 5 pretty much all night long. Was up front. Was very impressive. And I've been saying this about Bailey Curry. He is one of the most underrated drivers currently in the NASCAR world at the moment. I hope he gets a full-time opportunity going into next year because I thought he had a chance to win this race. Was fast in practice. A great night for Bailey Curry in fifth place. Chase Purdy finished at 6th. Definitely got helped by the strategy, but a great night nonetheless for Chase Purdy, getting another solid top 10 in 6th place. Matt Benedetto finished 7th. He basically had, of course, being a hometown for the organization, another top 10. I think that's his 4th or 5th consecutive top 10 in a row, and got a lot of points tonight as well. I feel like this Rackley team is starting to come together. They kind of got screwed because of the bad strategy call they made. I feel like they could have had a shot at 10 for a top 5. Nonetheless, so a very solid top 10 day for Matt Benedetto. Got a lot of stage points in stage 2. A very solid day for this Rackley team. They're starting to improve and get better. Tyler Anker finishes 8th. Probably one of his better runs so far of the 2023 season. Ran top 10 and top 5 a lot of the evening. So a very good day for Tyler Anker in 8th place. Ben Rose finished 9th. Had a quiet but good night. Was at times in the top 5, competing in top 5 near the end of the race. So a solid night nonetheless in 9th place. And Jake Garcia gets a very solid 10th place finish. Tanner Gray finishes in 11th. Jake Drew finishes 12th. Very solid debut for this kid. He was extremely impressive tonight. Of course, was the ARCA West champion last year for Bob Percotti's team. Made his debut and was contending for the top 10 near the end of the race. A very great debut for Jake Drew in 12th. Grant Enfinger finishes 13th. Kind of a disappointing night. Got some damage near the end of the race. It kind of cost him a shot at a good run and was involved in one of the later wrecks. It's a shame because Grant Enfinger was probably a guy who I thought maybe contend for a win tonight. Just not a great night overall. Taylor Gray finishes in 14th. Matt Crafton finishes 15th. Matt Crafton's never been great here in Nashville, so it's not a surprise or a shock that he kind of struggled. Timmy Hill with a very solid top 20 finish in 16th place. Tony Breidinger, another solid top 20 for her. She struggled in the beginning race, but as she got better, she improved as the night went on and gets a very solid top 20 finish in 17th place. Solid run for her. Stuart Friesen finishes 18th. Not a great night for Stuart Friesen. Was good in the beginning, fell back, then had to spin and never really recovered from it. Spun out near the end and finishes 18th. Nick Lights finishes 19th. This was his first or second race of the year, so solid run for Nick Lights in 19th. And Mason Maggio finished 20th. Very solid run for the Rain Brothers team in 20th place. Corey Rober finishes 21st. Good to see him back in the Truck Series. Daniel Dye finished 22nd after the crash. Christian Eckes, after crashing as well, he finished 23rd. Jonathan Schaffer finished 24th. Spencer Boyd finished 25th. Chase James finished 26th. Lane Riggs, after getting involved in the wreck with Daniel Dye, he finished 27th. Tough break. He was actually contending for a top 20 where those issues came into play. Haley Deegan finished 28th. A decent and a small recovery for her to finish in the top 30. Again, you can't make the mistakes that she made at the beginning of this race because I think she could have contended for a top 15 or a top 10 tonight, especially if all the cars were having trouble in front of her. She could have gotten a lot of points tonight as well. Just a missed opportunity for her by a mistake. Colby Howard finished 29th. Not sure what happened to him. I think he had an electrical issue near the end of the race. Not sure because he went many laps down. Jack Wood, after getting involved in the beginning of the wreck, he finished 30th. Ty Majeski, after his electrical issues, finished 31st. He continues to fall farther, closer to that cutoff line, and I'm a little nervous about Majeski. He's still pretty good right now, but he needs to get a win. But he's got 3 races left, so if he can hold on, he'll be in decent shape. Raj Crew finished 32nd. Feel terrible for Raj. Had a really strong truck tonight. Was probably going to be a contender for the win at the end of this race. It just seems like Raj can't catch a break. Something happens and something goes wrong for this team, and it just can't catch a break. I feel bad for Raj because he deserves a shot and opportunity to continue to contend. Dean Thompson finishes 33rd, was really fast in practice, had to start at the rear. Unfortunately, tonight, never really recovered. He was actually aimed up in the top 10, but got a lot of damage. Brett Holmes finished 34th. Memphis Villarreal finished 35th. Interestingly, Paul Silva, who was his crew chief, I think it was, or Tim Silva was, he left the spun on top of the truck, and it went on the track. That's how you know crazy trucks race is. And Lawsound finishes last in 36th place. So now, let's talk about the overall race as a whole, and I'll give you my score for tonight's race. Honestly, despite all the craziness and chaos, I thought the race was actually really good. It might be one of my favorite races I've seen in National and any of NASCAR's top 3 series ever. I thought there was really good racing up front. You had great racing for the lead in Stage 1 and Stage 2, and pretty solid racing in Stage 3 as well. And I think the truck that deserved the win got the win, in my opinion. It was good racing, just solid racing in the truck series. When you're not wrecking every single second of the day, you can get some pretty good racing. So for me, my score of tonight's truck race is going to be a 9 out of 10. There was a little bit in the beginning where I thought it could have been a little bit better while I was cautious. The beginning hurt the score a little bit for me. Some of the sturdiness in NASCAR's bad calling of adding an extra lap. That didn't help anything. But nonetheless, I thought it was a very solid race. My score is a 9 out of 10. So, that is going to be for tonight's Truck Series race review from Nashville Super Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, but the channel notifications on if I win a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links go over that and combo your thoughts below on today's race. What are your thoughts on tonight's race? Let me know below. Let me know your score in the comments below. And congratulate Carson Hocevar on picking up the victory. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, the NASCAR Xfinity Series race will be from Nashville Super Speedway. Then on Sunday, I'm going to have a double upload day on the channel. I'm going to talk about 10 drivers who could drive the A-Car for Junior Motorsports. And I also have the Cup Series race to be from Nashville. Then next week, we're going to start previewing the Chicago Street Course event. And also have some NASCAR news dropping as well. Should be very fun and very exciting. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. And I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.